Hello guys, today we're gonna to solve the merge intervals problems in the Leetcode. Let's read the description of this problem. Given an array of intervals where intervals at I is has a two value, the first of them one called start and the second one called end. And we should merge all overlapping intervals and return an array of the non-overlapping intervals that cover the intervals in the input. So I think this problem is not so hard. Let's mm, give a imagination for you. We have a given example. First example, I've written these values in the Paint online. The first interval is 1 and 3, and the second one is 2 and 6, and the third one is 8 and 10, and last one is 15 and 18. So as we can see that the second interval is overlapping with the first one. Mm, Even and instead of 2, uh, here will if here will be 3, it's also will overlapping, since that we can see the on the second example. So how we can solve? Uh, in this example, randomly all the intervals is sorting by the first value. So it will be great if the value of our intervals will be sorted by the first value. Because if we have sorted like this, we can compare our the next intervals first of all with the previous intervals second values. If it's less than the previous, we can just merge them. If it's the current intervals first value is not less than or equal to the previous the second value, we can just mm, uh, move to the our next iteration. So I think the explanation was enough. Let's create our new class. It's called interval, and we should implement our uh, compare to method from comparable. So we should create a two variable. First one is called from. Second one will call two. So we should open the constructor. Here we should take the two given value and give this value the hours from and to. So then we should overwrite our method from our implement comparable class. Okay, here we will write the name of our class and another interval object. So we just will turn the difference of our this from another from. Okay, so we have implemented our interval class, and let's start to write the code in the our merge method. Okay, so we should check the intervals, and if it's equal to 1, we just return our interval, since that we don't need to change anything. If it's not equal to 1, if it's greater than 1, so uh, we should read our um, the next block of code. So let's open the list. We will call it intro list. Our list will be array list, and we're using for loop just by iterating or loop. We will add the values from our intervals to the interval list by creating a new interval or taking intervals by their index. Okay, so we have added all the elements into our interval list, and now we can write a collection sort interval list. It will use our reason compared to method um, by our ID and sort. And in this line code will help to sort by this algorithm. Okay, uh, then let's create a new list. We will call match list. The list will be array list, and we need to take the first value. We will call it current interval. We'll take its interval list by getting it zero at zero index, and by for loop from the first index until the end of the um, interval list size. We just uh, will compare our um, current interval from if it's greater than our interval list. Not that if our interval list gets at I from if this will be greater than our current interval 2, we just will change our current interval to the new one interval. But before this, we need to add the old merged old current interval to our merged list. But if it's not, if our the current uh, intervals from value is not greater than our previous intervals to value, we should make a second comparison. Let's say if our interval list gets I to greater than our current interval 2, we just change our current interval to the interval list get I to, and after finishing our for loop, we just need to add the last current interval into our merge list. And then we should create a two-dimensional array that will store itself the two columns and merge the size of uh, amount of rows. And by using a for loop, we will uh, take iteratively the values and give these values in our result array. And under the calls, we just return our result array. Mhm. Okay. Mhm. Okay. Let's submit our code and check the okay. Successfully. Fortunately, our code was white. I think in the definition and description of our problem and uh, my explanation of how we can solve this problem was clearly for you to understand. And see you. Bye bye.